All right, here with reaction. Trump campaign. Do you like how I did that?
It's really
I had to do that and walk over here.
I think you have a future in polling, Sean.
Well, that's your business. How are you feeling?
I feel great. And what you just showed demonstrates we probably have about at least 6 routes to 270. That's not always been the case, but momentum, enthusiasm, they sound like intangibles. They're actually very empirically proven, very tangible. You see these crowds. You see people in all these states, including states like New Mexico, Minnesota, thought to be out of reach for a Republican candidate, Sean. And yet he shows up there and the crowds just pour in. In Minnesota today, people were abandoning their cars a mile away from the venue.
Wow.
We made the event live, and 18 hours later, we had 21,000 RSVPs for an airplane hangar that holds about 4,500 comfortably.
I heard there were more people outside than inside.
That's usually
like 3
the case.
times the amount of people.
We like to say, for somebody who doesn't play an instrument or a sport, Donald Trump can really pack him in. But it's a serious point when you're going through the map and you are even talking credibly and plausibly about states like Pennsylvania and Michigan and Colorado and New Hampshire. These are states that President Obama carried twice with well over 50% of the vote. Hillary Clinton is nowhere near there. We've been talking for months on this show and elsewhere about her being the 46% gal. She just can never really bust through that ceiling.
That has been your argument for a long time.
Really, Sean, what's going to convince these undecided voters between now and Tuesday that, you know what, it's okay. I know she lies for a living. I know she's corrupt. I don't much like her. I don't want more of the same. I'm a change maker. I want to drain the swamp, but I think I'll vote for Hillary Clinton. It's all incongruous, and I have faith in the American people, their wisdom, their discernment, and their real appetite to go in a new and different direction.
I think the best path for Donald Trump, I think he will get Iowa. I think he will. Look, I believe in polls. Nate Silver once tweeted, Hannity doesn't believe in polls. He cited an online poll. No, I believe in numbers.
Nate Silver said today that Hillary Clinton is 1 state away from losing the electoral map. That's a huge turn of events from somebody who 2 weeks ago said the race is practically over.
I do think, look at Matt Bevin just in 2014. It was a 12-point swing. Look at what happened in Brexit. I've given at least 15 examples where the polls can be way off. I don't know if they are or not. They're the numbers that we have. You're the pollster. But if we're going by polls, he will win Iowa. He will win Ohio. If we're going by polls, I think he will win North Carolina. Very tight as always in Florida.
Always.
It's Florida. Where are you?
I mean, in Florida, look, in 2000, George W. Bush, as we all know, was separated by 527 votes in Florida with Al Gore. And George W. Bush's brother was the governor of Florida. George W. Bush had been the nominee for 2.5 years. The field had been cleared. He had all Republicans for him, all the establishment, the infrastructure. We don't have that everywhere we go.
How do you feel about the early vote in Florida this time?
I'm feeling better. We get these daily reports, and I was going over the numbers today. Actually, we had a press call about it.
Plus 100,000, right?
Exactly. So we feel good as to compared to where the Republican nominee was in 2012.
And plus over 100,000 in North Carolina.
Correct. Absolutely. And North Carolina is always a day of vote for Republicans. Governor Romney carried the state in 2012, but he was trailing badly in the early vote.
Right.
And as was Tom Tillis, the Senate candidate in 2014, who defeated incumbent Kay Hagan in North Carolina. So we know that's a day of vote.
What do you think, either Colorado or Nevada? We hear in Nevada there was a very heavy Hispanic turnout in early voting.
Yes, so Nevada is a place where we need a very strong day of turnout, more than in other places. But we feel really good about our infrastructure there and the fact that we've beefed up our field team to plan for this after we saw some of the early returns last week. Colorado's really been tightening, and it's a place where Hillary Clinton's team felt they had to go back to Colorado. I like the way you swap them out on your board, because for a while our major path included Nevada and not Colorado, but we've had the luxury of late to swap them out. And the fact that we're talking about Michigan, the fact that you're talking in a serious way about Pennsylvania.
All right, but is it Pennsylvania is always from a presidential standpoint in my adult life, and that no, not going to happen. Is it different this time?
It's different because the candidate is different. The message is about renegotiating bad trade deals, about protecting coal miners and steel workers.
Pennsylvania's been hurt so bad. And by the way, just fracking for Pennsylvania is huge. But I do always worry about what really goes on in Pennsylvania.
The Obamacare premiums are through the roof.
Yeah.
Well, Philly's about 11% of the vote, and then the surrounding suburbs are about another 23%. So you're talking about a third of the state. We've seen some improved numbers among women in those suburbs around the collar counties.
Which would be more likely from your perspective, Pennsylvania or Michigan?
We're going for both. We're actually competing very heavily in both. We're putting our 2 major assets, Governor Pence and Mr. Trump, in both states.
What do you put the odds at, Donald? What do you put the odds on Tuesday night? Our audience here is Fox News projects that Donald J. Trump will be the 45th president of the United States. What are the odds?
The odds are about 54% at this point. We've got them on the run. They rejiggered their whole schedule based on what we did.
54% ought to scare everybody. That means there's a 46% chance she could win. The biggest
well, no,
liar,
and
most corrupt person on earth.
It was actually this morning, I was having a conversation with Mr. Trump, and he said something about Brexit. And I said, no, you keep talking about Brexit. This is the Trump effect. There's a big difference. You keep on crediting these other movements, and this is actually the Trump effect, because Brexit isn't filling up these hangars and getting people all excited. And the other thing we're seeing in early voting...
I hear the food is like really top-notch. KFC, McDonald's.
Oh, my God.
There's no beer on the plane. There's no beer on the Trump plane. What's up with that?
No wonder we haven't seen you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we know. But seriously speaking, the Trump effect, I've been talking about the undercover Trump voter for months, but people say it's shy, it's hidden, they don't want to admit. They're misunderstanding what I mean. Undercover are all these people who say to themselves, I have an excuse to vote against her, I need a reason to vote for him. They have the reason now. They like the 100-day plan, they like the repealing, replacing Obamacare, they love defeating radical Islam.
I like what he offered, a new deal for Black America.
Yeah, it's all of that, but really, Sean, in the end, are people going to cast a vote for somebody who's never done this before? That's really the undercover Trump vote. And are people going to go against their own either partisan predilections or their past voting behavior? And you see a lot of that. I mean, when Hillary Clinton promised to put the coal industry out of work, that message, it was supposed to be about West Virginia, but it traveled right across to Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Now, I've got to also credit our running mate, Governor Pence. He's the governor of Indiana. He helped a great deal with the upper Midwest states where we're now competitive.
All right, it's going to be a busy night.
I'll see you on Victory Night. Thank you.